climate of the Pacific Northwest is ideal for growing raspberries. With over 70 million pounds per year grown on 9,600 acres, Washington State accounts for over 70% of the U.S. production of frozen red raspberries. The large majority of Washington's production is centered around Lyndon, in the far northwest corner of the state. This area adjoins Canada's major raspberry production area in the Fraser Valley. While raspberries are harvested during the summer, the process of growing and tending to the plants happens year-round. Like many other berries, raspberry plants are perennial, producing raspberries each summer. Every year, the ground is carefully cultivated and irrigated, and the plants are pruned and fertilized to ensure a bountiful harvest. In Washington State, raspberries produce fruit as the weather warms each summer. The fruit ripens over the course of several weeks. During this time, the plants are picked every few days so that only the fruit that is ripe and ready is harvested. Machines have been used to harvest raspberries for several decades. These harvesters are specially built to pick high-quality fruit without damaging the plants or the berries. On a typical harvester, 2 columns of fiberglass rods shake each side of the plant, causing only the ripe raspberries to fall off. Belts transport the fruit to the top of the machine, where fans clean out sticks and leaves, and workers make one final inspection. The berries end up in shallow boxes called flats, which ensure the fragile fruit doesn't get crushed before it leaves the field. From the field, the raspberries are quickly and carefully transported to packing plants. To ensure the integrity of the fruit, it is packaged and frozen within hours of being harvested. Nearly all raspberries grown in Washington are processed and frozen in 3 main berry packs: B-grade, individual quick frozen, and juice stock.
So this is a receiving area for Clark's Berry Farm. The trucks come in, they're offloaded by forklifts. Once everything is offloaded, it's staged, and then it's ready to go into the plant to be processed. As fruit comes into the plant, it's marked with the driver who brought it in, which field it comes from, the date and the time, so that we know when this left the field. And this is how it normally comes in. There's still a little bit of stem on it, as you can see here, but this will all be taken out so that when you get it, you'll have a fruit that is just the fruit, without any stems, damage, or anything else. This gentleman here is picking up the flats with a crane. It makes it so that he can pick the entire stack up at once and set it onto the dumpers, which then automatically feed into this system that's dumping. Comes up, there's fingers that pick it up, dump it against a bar in the back, which taps it out. The flat heads down this line and then gets washed. As the fruit enters the plant, it goes through a fan. This fan blows air from the bottom up, taking out leaves and stems as much as possible. Once it passes the fan, it goes underneath a spray bar, which contains 10 to 12 parts per million of chlorine. All this does is keeping it stabilized until it gets into the freezer, which is within 2 to 3 hours of processing. As it comes across the belt, what these guys are looking for is basically white, and then stems, mold, and then basically that then is thrown out. So as the fruit comes to the end of the line, it goes underneath a magnet, which will catch anything that the sorters didn't catch that's magnetized. Once it hits the end of the roller, it drops down into what's called a cross conveyor. This cross conveyor will take fruit from all the way down the line and bring it into one end down here, which is where they're filling. And what's happening here is the fruit comes in and it's dumped in. What they're running right now is considered a field run that's been inspected. So it's not going through any other process of sieving or seeding. It's totally just the fruit put into a 28-pound bucket. When he gets done here, he brings it over and she's weighing it to make sure that it is 28 pounds. She will adjust it to make sure it gets to where she wants it to be. It comes across the rollers and he is putting on the lids. At this point, the labels are being placed on with a system that just presses them on. And this has all the information about this pack, including date, time. Our lot numbers will tell exactly what field it comes from and what size, sort, and everything. These gentlemen get the fun job of stacking these into 64-pound pallets, which are then strapped, and then they go into cold storage. And this truck will leave probably in about no less than 2 hours from the time we start. There's a lot of other ways that raspberries are processed. One is called sieved with seed or without seed. And in order to do that, you have some type of a sieve or a finisher. So this little guy is called a sieve. And what it is, there's a sieve inside, just like a sieve that you'd have in your kitchen. And what it does is it takes the seeds out. With this many seeds coming out, this is going to be a seedless product, which means by the time you get it, it's a pure pureed product without any seeds. The other way that this will come out is it'll take out any, if something didn't get taken out up here, it will take out any, maybe a stem or something that got left in, and then that goes into a sieved with seed puree. So you still have seeds, but it's pureed up so it's ready to go for you to make all kinds of fun stuff. Jams, jellies. Your seedless is great for drinks, cooking recipes. There's a lot of stuff you can do with pureed raspberries.
Other plants use a process called individual quick frozen, or IQF. This process takes the highest quality fruit and uses freezing tunnels to quickly freeze the individual berries. Like in other packing plants, the berries are carefully sorted before being frozen and packaged. Raspberries are one of the most difficult products to IQF, because they are fragile and easily crumble once frozen. In an IQF plant, a system of sorters, shakers, and inspectors ensures that only whole berries end up in the final product. This method of packaging allows consumers and other food producers to buy whole, high-quality raspberries at any time of the year. Around 20% of Washington's raspberries are not packed as IQF or B grade. Instead, these berries are placed in a 400-pound drum and are destined to be concentrated as juice. This intense season of harvest and packaging happens every summer. Every year, Washington farmers and their employees work hard to provide high-quality red raspberries for consumers around the world to enjoy.
This industry is made up of family farms that employ many, many people from many different backgrounds. We're teaching farming to a generation that we feel really needs it. You know, this business, this industry is a key to agriculture on this west side of Washington. Our goal is to protect this industry. Many families in this community are supported by it. And we want to make sure that the future generations have the opportunity to farm raspberries in Washington State.